turn it over to me if you will.
Okay, we're going to call to order the Finance Committee meeting for November the 1st, 2021. We will start off with invocation, followed by the flag salute if you'll stand at this time. Dear Lord, we come thanking you for the gift of another day. Just thank you for all the blessings that you've bestowed upon us. Just ask that you would just look upon your city leaders on tonight as we come together to discuss city business. Let all that we do be pleasing in your sight. Order our steps in your will and in your way. These are many of the blessings we ask in Jesus' name. For our sake we pray. Amen. Amen. Flag salute. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of October 18, 2021, or take other necessary action.
After reviewing our minutes, are there any corrections or additions to our minutes?
Move for approval. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve our minutes. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds. Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item number 1 passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments October 9th, 2021 through October 22nd, 2021, or take other necessary action.
Do we have a report from the purchasing committee?
Yes, the purchasing committee did meet this afternoon, and we approved the claim, so I move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve our claims. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item number 2 passes. Item number 3, please.
Consider approval of final payment to Cook Consulting, LLC, in the amount of $152,410.68 for port lift station replacement, project number 2017020, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Reeves?
Port lift station number 4 was completed, and all inspections and punch list items have been completed. The project included demo of existing pump station, moving the new pump station across the street to allow for more space for the site. It had site restrictions on the current location, and all new equipment was installed: motors, pumps, generators, jib, crane, pumps, and valves. And site does, we do recommend approval.
Okay,
I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Did you have a slide presentation?
I did. I didn't see the clicker. The punch list items were completed. That's a photo of the site looking from east to west. The jib crane is what you see standing up at the highest point there. The jib crane is used to move heavy equipment, motors, valves, and it was used to also set the generator equipment. That's an overview of the layout of the site, and that was what I went through earlier. So staff does recommend approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Reeves?
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Reeves,
Yes, sir.
what does this actually improve?
This actually, the other lift station had deteriorated, the motors and the valves had deteriorated, and then the building was leaking. So this actually improves the reliability of the station itself. We have, this is one of 5 different lift stations we've done, and this is the first one we've had the final on. We'll be looking forward to final on 1, 2, and 3 next.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Excuse me. Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds. Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item number 3 passes. Item number 4, please.
Receive report on the City of Muskogee's leak detection program and its associated software, Aquahawk, and take other necessary action.
Ms.
Uh,
Tracy.
At a previous meeting, the mayor asked that we give a presentation on our software, Aquahawk. It is a program that we offer through the Revenue Department for our customers. It's a no-cost online customer water use portal that allows the customer to view their water consumption, manage their water usage, and set customized alert settings. You can access Aquahawk at our website, www.cityofmuskogee.com. And on the front page, if you look at the bottom where the big arrow is, there's a check water usage. You can click on that, and it will take you to a different screen. You'll need to register. You can see there is a sign-in. If you've already been on the software, you can just sign in with your login and your password. But if not, you'll need to register for a first-time user. You will need your account number, and you will need your service address, not your mailing address, but your service address. And you can get those off of your water bill, or you can call the water department, and they can provide those to you. So once they've clicked the register, it will take them to another screen where they will put in their email information, they'll create their password, their username, and then they will be able to select how they want to be contacted for an alert. You can select text message, you can get an email, or even a phone call. Or you can check all of those. Once you're logged in and you've created your account, it takes you to a portal that shows you a lot of good information. It will give you, it's kind of hard to see on this screen, but you can change your what you see from 24 hours up to 365 days, or you can even put in a specific date if you're trying to isolate a problem. It will tell you what your usage is. If you take your mouse and hover over the lines at the bottom, it will show you the gallons that you use. It will tell you rainfall. It will tell you temperature. So it's really great information for the customer when they're trying to maybe conserve water or trying to determine when or where they're using a lot of their water. There is also a threshold that can be set. If you see the arrow on the screen there, if you will click on that button, you can select by dollar amount. If you don't want to exceed a dollar amount, it will alert you when you get close to that based on your consumption for the month. Or you can also pick consumption in gallons if you don't want to exceed a certain amount. You can change that setting at any time for the summer months when you fill your pools or water your yard versus the winter months. It's very easy to use. It's a great tool. We encourage everyone to use it. I use it at home, and I've been alerted several times when the water hose is left running. It's very easy to go online and get registered, but if you do have any questions, the phone number is listed on your screen, and we'll be glad to help you with that. Be glad to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions for Tammy?
Ms. Tracy,
Yes,
can this training, if it's not already, be placed on the city website?
absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd like to see that done.
Sure. Not a problem. We'll get
That
that
way, for those who don't keep up with time, they can at least click and go back and forth to get the training as they need it.
done. We will get it on there.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. This item was just receiving a report, so there's no action needed on this.
Correct.
All right. So with that being said, that is our final item for our Finance Committee.
Welcome to tonight's Public Works Committee meeting, November 1st of 2021. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of October 18th, 2021, excuse me, or take other necessary action.
We'll open the public hearing. I'm sorry.
Move for approval.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds. Jamie Stout. Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, please.
Hold a public hearing and take action on the approval of ordinance number 4134A to rezone 331 South 32nd Street, being more particularly described in the ordinance from C1, local commercial, to C2, general commercial, and if approved, authorize staff to revise the official zoning map of the city to reflect said change or take other necessary action.
All right, now we're going to open the public hearing. Ms. Callahan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, committee members. This is a request from Derek Harris. He's the applicant. Tiger Lily Properties is the owner. It's a request to go from the C1 local commercial to the C2 general commercial. It is to allow for the demolition and the rebuild of the Wendy's restaurant. As you see, this is the existing site. And here is the map that's showing the existing zonings. It is surrounded by commercial. The reason for the C1 to the C2 is it is going to be a drive-through, and that is the required zoning classification for a drive-through. And rather than going through a special exception or a variance, they have asked to rezone it properly so they can have the clear title. There's a lot of lending companies that don't like to have that it is properly zoned for its use, and that is the C2 zoning classification. And staff and planning commission recommend approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Or I guess we have to close it.
We're going to now close the public hearing since no one has signed up to speak on this.
Move
Any
for approval.
council?
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Tracy Hous,
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
And the item passes. Item number 3, please.
Hold a public hearing and take action on the approval of Resolution Number 2873, amending the land use map regarding property located along Gulick Street on the east side north of Solomon Street, more particularly described in the resolution, from residential to local commercial, and if approved, authorize staff to revise the land use map of the city to reflect said change.
We'll now open the public hearing. Ms. Tisch.
Thank you. This is a request by the city to amend the land use map. We had a rezoning request come in, and that request does not meet the future land use map and the comprehensive plan that was adopted in 2012. At that time, the area was annexed in, and the zoning classification was given the R1 single-family residential. In order to even hear the rezoning request for approval or denial, or we would need to amend the land use map to the correct zoning to commercial, from residential to commercial. It is the area that's there on Gulick. It's an old convenience store and car wash, and there's some vacant land next to it. It does not amend the area that's currently being used as the mini storage facility. That still remains single-family residential, and I would not recommend changing the land use to the industrial for that location. It'll just have to remain as is and not expanded. But this new use requires it to be zoned correctly, if so, and that's part of that request. Is that just as confusing as ever? I was. But staff and planning commission recommended approval on amending the land use map.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Callahan. I do close the public hearing. No one signed up to speak on this. Council discussion?
Yes. So what is the use?
Currently, it's a vacant piece of property, and it's lost its legal nonconforming use, which when it was annexed in, it was a convenience store, and it was allowed to continue as a convenience store. When the convenience store, and there's still gas pumps there, closed down and was vacant for the 90 days, it lost its legal nonconforming use. So now, if any future use besides single-family residential would need to have a correct zoning classification, and it would need to be commercial, but the land use map recommends that area to be residential.
Residential. I understand. Thank you.
I move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 4, please.
Hold a public hearing and take action on the approval of ordinance number 4135A to rezone 2516 Gulick Street, being more particularly described in the ordinance from R1 Single Family Residential to C1 Local Commercial, and if approved, authorize staff to revise the official zoning map of the city to reflect said change or take other necessary action.
We will now open up the public hearing. Ms. Callahan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, committee members. This is a request from Bob and Jeanette Davis. They are the applicants. The owners are John Bailey and Judy Davis, and they're not related. They are requesting to have the property rezoned from the R1 single family to the C1 local commercial, and it is to allow for a new restaurant, the Mama Tiggs. I think I have one too many G's, so if you look it up online, it's just one G, and it's a pizza restaurant. Here's the site. It is the same one where we changed the land use map to allow for this zoning request to be heard. This is the site. Took this morning, so it's still a little dark. And that's the area to the north. Once it comes up. And there you see it currently does still have the gas pumps.
So you're talking about the gas station will now be a
The convenience store.
Will be Mama
Pizza,
Tiggs.
yes, Mama Tiggs. And that's across the street, which is agriculture and also in a floodplain. And this shows that it is surrounded by residential, but it is an existing commercially used building that would not have any use except for to be demolished. And I don't know of any single-family residences that would build along there, but it would just be remaining as a C1 local commercial zoning classification. And staff and planning commission recommend approval. And the applicants were not able to be here this evening. They had a family obligation, but they were planning to come next week.
Thank you, Tish. We do have one person to sign up to speak to this agenda item. Whenever I say your name, please come up. Miss Lisa Springfield. Please state your name and your address, and you have 5 minutes.
Lisa Springfield, 1310 Solomon Street. I'm the first house behind that gas station. And honestly, I don't really want it there because I don't want to deal with all the trash, the noise, the whole 9 yards. Like, what are the hours? How many days are they going to be open? Are they serving alcohol? Because there's a lot of kids in that neighborhood. And, you know, we don't need it. And is it going to affect our property value? Is it going to bring it down? Is it going to affect my taxes? Are my bills going to go up because of all this? And I'm assuming it's the gas station, and it kind of goes in an L, I believe. And it's an empty lot behind it, I believe.
Here we go.
But yeah, I just, honestly, I mean, it sounds like a good idea, but as far as like being in the middle of nowhere and being residential, like I said, it's like, why? One, and two, like I said, you know, there's a lot of kids. It's a little quiet neighborhood, and I just don't want, like I said, if they serve alcohol and all that, you know, we don't need that in that area. And that's about all I got.
Thank you, Ms. Springfield. Any council discussion or motion? I close the public hearing.
I'd
I
like to
move-
say something.
Yes.
I think it's kind of the exact opposite. I think that the vacant, dilapidated property is greatly affecting your property values, where a restaurant, Mama Tiggs Pizza, I've been there a few times to their food truck. I don't believe they mess with alcohol or anything like that. They seem to have reasonable hours with that. I think it would actually improve the property values there. I'd also like to point out that the whole Hilldale area is basically kind of like a food desert. There's very little to eat in that exact area, and seems like a really good use of property. I think that we should consider approving.
I'll move for approval. I feel the same way as Alex does. I think it'll be a great asset to our neighborhood, and I live in the area, and I think this is something, another restaurant is something that we greatly need in that area, and I'm looking forward to having them over there and supporting them and seeing them thrive in our area.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I have a motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Tracy Hoos. Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds. Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
And the item passes. Item number 5, please.
Consider approval of the preliminary and final plat of Slim's Edition, consisting of one lot on 1.12 acres located at 3112 Azalea Park Drive, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Callahan.
Oops, sorry, thank you. This is a request from, let me find out, because it's not actually Slim Chickens. It's the developers for the Slim's Chicken. It's a preliminary and final plat. It is just one lot on the 1.12 acres. It's 3112 Azalea Park Drive, and it is for the development of the Slim Chickens restaurant. This is the location. It's mapped out a little bit better. It is just north of the Starbucks, and they will share the access off of 32nd Highway 69, and then there's also an access there on Azalea Park Drive. Staff, Subdivision Review Committee, and Planning Commission recommend approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any council discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'll be recognized.
Yes.
What is Slim Chicken?
Oh, Mr. Van, it is evidently the most awesome chicken restaurant there is. There's several, Broken Arrow, Tulsa. They, I don't know, some may dispute that. Is that?
I'm still voting Charlie's. So.
I just never heard of Slim Chicken.
It's not a Mexican restaurant. It's a chicken restaurant. So I guess
It's a skinny guy with a chicken restaurant.
Turn the floor back on you, Mr. Chairman, because I just have never heard of it. That meant chitlins, I done heard of it.
Baptist Ivory, Baptist chicken.
Baptist chicken?
Yeah.
Real good Baptist chicken. All right.
Sorry about that,
I should have
Marlon.
had him bring a sample.
Any other questions? Or a motion?
Move for approval.
Second? Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Well, I guess definitely yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
And the item passes. Item number 6, please.
Consider approval of the preliminary and final plat of Parks on Peak Edition consisting of one lot on 4.14 acres located on Peak Boulevard west of South 24th Street, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Tish Callahan.
Yes, thank you. This is the preliminary and final plat for the Parks on Peak. I think because we referenced it that when he had his zoning, that it ended up becoming the name of the plat. But it is a request from Mackenzie Parks that's with ID Logistics LLC, and they are developing this for a new trucking industry. It's located there on Peak Boulevard, just west of 24th Street. And it meets the area regulations and the zoning classification that we did at the last meeting. Staff, Subdivision Review Committee, and Planning Commission recommend approval.
Thank you, Tish. Any questions from the council?
Is that the shell pit?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. No longer a shale pit.
No longer a
But
shell.
I think they're making the one to the east one. Looks like they're digging shale there.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 6, please. Or number 7.
Consider approval to accept ODEQ permit number SL 000051210685 for the construction of 1,560 linear feet of 8-inch PVC gravity sanitary sewer line and all appurtenances to serve the sanitary sewer line for Westside Mobile Home Park, Muskogee County, Oklahoma, or take other necessary action.
Mike Stewart.
Madam Chairman and Committee, West Side Mobile Home Park is on West Okmulgee out by 60th Street. West Side Mobile Home Park currently has a lagoon system for their sanitary sewer and has been there quite some time and is having issue with it. They reached out to an engineering firm to see if they could have it served by our sewer system, which the engineers drew up a plan set that would have it to change over from lagoon to the sanitary sewer system, which is ours. So they submitted a set of plans to us, and we reviewed them, signed off on them. We sent them to Hub Engineer to review them for us, and they signed off on them. And then these plans are forwarded to ODEQ for an actual permit. So this project to construct this sewer line is not actually the city's, but it's to construct a 8-inch sewer line that will become the city's as part of our system. That's why we have to put it on city council and get it approved for approval into our system. So this is really just a housekeeping item. We don't have any of the construction or anything on like that on there. But this project is to construct 1,560 lineal feet of 8-inch PVC gravity, so it won't be under pressure. It'll be a gravity line sewer system. The project starts on the west end of the west side of the mobile home park. If you know where the mobile home park is, it starts on the west side of it. It goes on the, and I don't know what that road is that comes alongside the trailer park, but it hits 60th Street, and it goes back on 60th Street to Muskogeee Street, and then it goes about 400 or 500 feet on West Muskogeee where it hits a lamp hole, which is the end of our sewer system. They will change that lamp hole out to a manhole, so it will become a manhole system, and that whole system will become ours to maintain by your action tonight upon completion of the construction.
Thank
So
you,
I'll
Mark.
answer any questions, but do recommend approval. And again, this is housekeeping. We used to have these quite often, and you're going to see quite a few of them here in the near future because we got several of them coming.
Thank you, Mike. Any discussion or questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
And the item passes. We do have two people wanting to come to speak. Whenever I call your name, please come to the podium. Mark Patel. Please state your name and your address. You have 3 minutes.
Sure. Mark Patel, 2819 Military Boulevard, Muskogee, Oklahoma. I thank you guys for letting me speak again for the second time. And I really want to thank Councilman Van. Main reason I'm speaking today is I want to elaborate on Councilman Van, what he said last week, last Monday's meeting, allowing non-resident of Muskogee to allow them being on a committee or on a board, which you guys control or speak of. The hotel owners, there's 20 hotel owners in Muskogee. None of them serve on any kind of board in Muskogee, right? We pay $1 million, pretty close to $1 million, or we collect, actually, not pay. We collect, which the city receives as a hotel tax. We pay close to $600,000 in property taxes. We employ about 180 people. We pay payroll taxes quite a bit. I don't know exact number, so I'm not going to say a number. My main reason for saying this is we have no voice in any kind of board. And I agreed with Councilman Van. I know we're non-residents, right? But there's a reason we have been in Muskogee. We care about Muskogee. That's why we've invested millions of dollars in the city of Muskogee. Just my hotel alone is $10 million. If you add up all the hotels, right, it could be close to $100 million in value, right, that you have in Muskogee. I don't know why we don't have a voice as being a non-resident. I want to tell you guys, please allow a non-resident member who has invested quite a lot of millions of dollars in Muskogee to be part of Muskogee and have a voice in what Muskogee is about. There's several hotels, the Best Western, the Comfort, the Holiday Inn, the Hampton Inn, the La Quinta, the Motel 6 and Studio 6, Candlewood Suites, Home 2 Suites. They all live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Majority of the hotel franchise live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Broken Arrow. So, and we want a voice. We don't want anything to say bad about Muskogee. We respect you guys, right? We expect us to be respected, and the way we see to be respected, right? If we have a voice, right? And that's all I gotta really say more than anything else. We do need a voice as a hotel owner, right? Heather, who's a general
Mr. Patel.
manager of my hotel.
Mr. Patel, I'm sorry, but your time is up.
Can we suspend the rules to give Mr. Patel 3 more minutes?
Second.
Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
You can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I do understand if a non-resident is not allowed to be in a board or a committee that voices Muskogee. But like I said, we've invested millions of dollars. We should have some kind of voice. Right? I'm not saying all of us or all the hotel owners need to be part of a committee. Just one or two people maybe. And basically that's all I had to say, is that I agree, and I hope you guys take into consideration a non-resident hotel owner, right? Well, it doesn't have to be a hotel owner. It could be a restaurant owner or anybody who's invested in Muskogee, right? Should give them a chance to be part of Muskogee, be part of a committee or part of a board, just to voice his opinion. I'm not asking for anything more than a voice of opinion. All right. Thank you, guys. I respect you guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Patel. Next, we have Heather Kane. Go to the podium and state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm Heather Kane at 2819 Military Boulevard. I just wanted to let everybody know, the majority of you I know already. For those of you that don't know my background, I've been involved in tourism for over 25 years now. I have experience with hotel and group sales, as well as sales and marketing, and obviously property management. I've been in Muskogee for over 5 years, and I've been involved in tourism even before the hotel opened. During that time, we've had 4 tourism directors, and now potentially 4 different structural changes to the program as we know it. 2 years ago, it was voted to bring the tourism program back in-house to a city-run program, and at the last minute, it ended up landing under the Roxy Trust. Many people at that time didn't agree with the decision, but it kind of quickly came out of nowhere, and it was practically a done deal before much of the public even knew what was going on. Much like what happened then is happening right now. I opposed that change 2 years ago, and so I'm here today to openly say that I oppose this change as well. Because of multiple things that have happened over the past 4 years, I do not have confidence in Oxford Productions to make the decisions that best represent the interest of tourism in Muskogee. I propose the City Council return to your original plan to take the program back into the city. Let the tourism director run the program as a division of the city under the direction of an advisory board placed under the MRA, similar to what we had before. Jordan would be allowed to continue her benefits package and also operate in a partnership with other city entities that have a vested interest in tourism. Under this structure, people and resources could be reallocated to ensure a successful event. If she's in cooperation, if our tourism program is in cooperation with Parks and Rec, the Civic Center, Hatbox, there's a lot of leverage there to be able to cohesively act together to make sure that we bring a great, successful event to town. And tourism wouldn't solely be operating as a single director, but could pivot when needed depending on the needs of that event. So my final words for everybody to consider is every time a substantial change is made to this tourism program, not only are we slowing down progress, but we're also losing the momentum that has been started. It's time to put the program on solid ground and allow tourism to flourish at a time when tourism numbers are exceeding pre-pandemic numbers. So I would like everybody to seriously consider pulling back the decision to turn the tourism management over to Oxford Productions, and consider bringing back what you all originally voted on and wanted was to bring it back into the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kane. No other citizens wish to speak?
Mr. Chairman, may I suspend the rules and have 5 minutes?
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Good evening. Ivory Van, 4338 Columbus Street, Muskogee, Oklahoma. I went around this week. I was called to the teen center the other day, and I went to the teen center when it was raining. And you ought to have seen how all the water was going into the teen center. When you walk through the front door, that garage door, when it's raining hard and the wind is blowing, all that water is running on the floor right there in the TV area, and then it runs into another room. And then over here in the corner, to your left, when you walk in the door, I took pictures of all this. And I know they've had problems, with the roofs. I don't know how. I'm not on the facilities board or anything like that. But I just think, as a city, we need to look into that building or tear it down and build our children something that's going to last here in Muskogee, so they have something to do in the wintertime, because you can play basketball at Robinson Park and any other place, here in Muskogee in the summertime and spring, but in the wintertime it's cold out there. Our kids need to be somewhere where it's nice. They had a nice pool area I liked, for playing pool and stuff. And we spent a lot of money on that building before I even got on the council. But we need other areas of town. We need something else done to that teen center. Because I was talking to Councilman McGee, that's our ward. There's something needs to be done over there, and it's sad. It really is. And I wish every councilman would go over there and look at that teen center and go around and just see what I'm talking about. Because it just made me sick to my stomach. I've seen mold growing around it. Mold shouldn't be in a building. It don't make no sense. Another thing I'd like to bring up, that I was out the other day in Pam was riding around town, and we was looking at the homeless people. It was one gentleman down on the corner of 12th, and he had a sign, "Thank you for Muskogee for your support." And we drove up to him, and she asked him, said, "Do you need any food or anything?" He said, "No, ma'am." He said, but she had her food, and we know he needed some food. So she gave it to him. But he said how the people came by and just looked at him like he wasn't nobody. No, he wasn't begging for nothing. All he had was a sign saying, "Thank you for supporting Muskogee." That was it. Then we went down to the rest of the people that were in that complex out there by Walmart. And we asked them, did they need any food? So she gave them food. She went and bought food. We went to Chick-fil-A and got them food. People really need help nowadays. But it was just amazing to me that when he said how people talked about him and looked at him like he wasn't nothing and he wasn't begging for a thing. That's just a couple items. And another thing is, on Mr. Patel, what he was saying is, it's true. These hotels need to be represented. I know it's ways, because the tourism one time took this to a vote, and they didn't want them doing that. So it's ways around it. I'm pretty sure it is. I'd like to get to the attorney and see just what we can do to get Mr. Patel or somebody on one of those hotel owners on that board. Because they don't want to bring it, they want to make it possible for us to have tourism here in Muskogee. Without them hotels, would we have tourism? We wouldn't be up here discussing it, would we? No, y'all know we wouldn't be up here discussing it. But it's the truth. So I hope we can work it out where one of those members a couple of them can be on that board. That's just my opinion. And I'm pretty sure some of y'all up there agree with me. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And please, let's do the right thing. That's all I ask. It's the right thing. And treat Jordan right over here. She's access to our city of Muskogee. Treat her right. If Oxford does take production, still do something to make sure that she is taken care of. Because one day when we had that meeting, what really got to me more than anything was, you shouldn't have a person after a meeting cry. I've never seen that happen before. Never. So let's just, like I say, council, and mayor, let's start doing things a little better than what we're doing. Let's do things right. Put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. That's all I say. And I'm done, but I appreciate your time and hope everybody have a blessed and wonderful week.
Thank you, Counselor. This concludes our Public Works meeting.
Just before we call to order the special call meeting of Muskogee City Council, Mr. Tucker needs to make an explanatory note.
Thank you, Mayor. This item was originally staff-driven, and it was tabled from last week, which is why we've put the agenda on today. But we are going to need some additional time on that, and so I'm requesting that this item be stricken.
Does the council understand? We need a motion, Mr. Tucker?
You do not, unless there's not consensus.
Are we in consensus? The item is stricken. We are adjourned.